Hello, everybody. It's Paul. I wanted to introduce you to Goldie, the newest addition to our house. Goldilocks. She's keeping us very busy this weekend. She's 8 weeks old, and she is a handful, so she's going down. I hope that you all have been safe and well this week. It's a little crazy out there. There's so much happening right now that deserves our attention, but I wanted to step back for a minute and talk about the stories that we're working on for the last few months of 2025. As always, I'll continue to center my message around radical hope and radical love, but I also want to discuss some of the systemic challenges and the important conversations I've been having with my peers in this work. One of the biggest challenges we're trying to address is the poor job most of us do in tracking the interactions and progress with people we serve. On a local level, we have several silos, all of which were created by funding requirements that prevent us from sharing information between agencies. This has been the reality as long as I've been around, and what's required to get it fixed involves thousands of city, county, state, and quasi-governmental agencies all the way up to the federal agencies. They created this problem in the first place. We need them to help us fix it. Everyone knows this needs to be fixed. We're making progress in fits and starts, but the path to a whole care, whole life system for coordinating services is fraught with challenges. The people I've been talking with all agree that the core of making this work is changing the ownership of personal data. Instead of Facebook, X, Cambridge Analytica, and thousands of data brokers owning our personal data, we need to own it ourselves. This is where we'll see the most advancement the quickest. It's also the one area where we'll meet the toughest resistance. Our data has been made a commodity, and taking it back presents a challenge that includes changing the business practices of some of the biggest companies in the world. And then there are all of the systems, loosely framed as the homelessness industrial complex, that have made an art of positioning themselves in front of the funnel of federal dollars and scooping up as much as they can. These are usually public institutions, so they don't own the data, but they rely on it to justify their funding and programs. For them to transition their systems will take time and money and can only happen in response to changes on the federal funding structure. Significant systemic changes like this are slow, but not impossible. We'll get into more details on this next month, so stay tuned. The impact of upcoming mega events. Los Angeles is hosting two global mega events, the 2026 World Cup and the 2028 Olympics. We need to make plans now to ensure that our unhoused neighbors retain their rights as we prepare for hundreds of thousands of visitors to LA County. A French nonprofit created an in-depth report on the effect the 2024 Olympics had on their unhoused and underserved communities. We'll be taking you through that report, as well as the recommendations we'd like to see enacted before the events in LA. We can provide safety and dignity for all our neighbors in LA if we start to enact some simple safeguards and plan well for the inevitable mass relocation of the unhoused and underserved. This includes retaining personal data for each resident and ensuring follow-through after each step of relocation. That task will require coordinating hundreds of homeless services agencies and thousands of faith organizations just to bring enough people to actually do the work. This involves creating data systems designed to work today and that can continue to function going forward. I'll be bringing these topics up in planning sessions with the new Department of Homeless Services and Housing starting this week. How federal policy changes will continue to affect our unhoused neighbors. September 20th marked the most consequential 9 months of federal policy changes in my lifetime. So far this year, we've been tracking changes in policies affecting immigration, queer rights, and homelessness. These intersecting issues, along with many others, affect the day-to-day lives of our unhoused neighbors and are increasing the instability that leads to people losing their housing. We are now seeing 60,000 people lose their housing every year in LA, and hundreds of thousands are barely hanging on. Deportations tear families apart, requiring us to respond quickly and with love and respect for those left behind. And the effort to erase trans people from our culture can be seen as one more of many such moves to exclude and disempower minorities. We need to be innovative and effective in how we move forward at the street level. Living in radical hope. This is a lot, I know. But radical hope asks us to live in the world we imagine. I live in a world where we are brilliant, loving, caring, and effective, and I invite you to live here too. Nothing can stop us when we work together. We'll cover all these stories over the next few months, and we invite you to add any other topics you'd like to see discussed here in the comments section below. Don't forget to like this video if it resonated with you, and subscribe for more content on radical hope and radical love. You don't want to miss our upcoming deep dives into these critical issues. Your support helps us to continue this important work. And remember, stay radical.